jy gaan eers alleen opwees as jy begin praat, en dan wanneer jy, en dan kan jy maar net,
ek dink die tyd is spaar.
en ons gaan nie 'n lang, jy gaan maar net vir my sê, okay, Chart, welkom, jy's nou op, en dan sit jy my op. So jy gaan nou eers alleen opwees.
Ja. Just relax, get yourself a cup of coffee.
Rhythm of the night, set my heart on fire. Moving with the wind, it's pulling me closer. Eyes holding the truth, with nothing to lose. Everything to find, I will follow through. All that's underneath, draw it out of me. I see visions of everything we always dream. When the morning comes, stars and sky above, will you be ready? When I'm out here in the weeds, got my sights set on this, got me at sea. Always looking for a sign. I see it all on the horizon Everything I need is right in front of me. Will you reach out, take it, it's yours to keep. And the sun is high, shining in my eyes, moving west to lead us to paradise. All that's underneath, draw it out of me. I see visions of everything we always dream. When the morning comes, stars and sky above, will you be ready? When I'm out here in the weeds, got my sights set on this, got me at sea. Always looking for a sign. I see it all on the horizon
Kan die muis gebruik om vir ons te wys, nee.
I got a new song every day. The sun is rising and I'm finding my way. You can tell them all I'm okay, 'cause I'm in that good place. Oh, you give me that good place. Now I'm in that good place.
Sandra vra as die koffie lyk. Sandra is baie lekker. Sandra vra as Sherry.
Good morning. This is Kobus speaking. I'm honored to have all of you here this morning and taking time out of your busy schedule. We're privileged and honored to have Chad again from the other night to come and represent. He's going to talk about one-on-one line management coaching. He's going to share with you a powerful tool that you can use. And let's make magic in the next hour. I don't have to go on and introduce. We have only a few minutes before our next talk. So let's give all the time to Chad to share his knowledge and his wisdom. Chad, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kobus. It's nice to be here. If I can just start off by saying thank you to Kobus. He's the guy that actually set up this 10-day webinar where 16 of us did get the opportunity to talk 3 times. And make magic. And who other than Kobus? He's the #1 firewalk instructor in Africa. He has walked over red hot coals of 500 to 600 degrees over 700 times. I mean, that is just crazy. Okay, so today I want to warn you that I had an E for English in matric. So if I mix up the E's and R's, just remember, when I came from Welkom in the Free State to Pretoria, I only spoke English out of self-defense. I'm 64 now, and I still mix it up from time to time. And I decided now that I'm talking much more, I will go for advanced English, and by end September, it will be much better. But despite that, E for English and the tenses, I did get my town planning degree, my MBA, the diploma in financial management, project management, and advanced strategy. So for anyone else that battles with it, it doesn't really matter. Okay, I've been in businesses, and I'm a serial entrepreneur since I was 8 years old. I think more importantly, over the last 18 years, I assisted companies to facilitate strategy development when they do their breakaways, helping them develop strategy. Did a lot of programs in companies on management and leadership. And this topic we're talking about today is close to my heart because I believe this is probably the single most important issue in management. I want to say welcome. I'm honored and humbled that you did take the time off to come to this discussion. I can promise you that you will walk away with something here that you can apply this afternoon already or tomorrow that will make a difference in your management skills and your performance. Now, Jocko Willink wrote the book Extreme Ownership. He was a senior officer in the Marines, and he's an amazing guy. He said there's only 2 kinds of managers, an effective manager or ineffective manager. There's nothing else in between. And you have to decide, are you an effective manager or an ineffective manager? And why do you think you're an effective manager if you think you are an effective manager? But what we will try and do here today is that you get a better understanding because we want you to walk out here and be an effective manager from tomorrow on. Now, my personal opinion is that you do not get poor employees. You only get poor managers. And I've seen that over a long period of time. Why do I say that? Why people always sit back and say, how can you say that? And there's 2 things I want to mention here. The one is, when I hear managers talk about their team as they do this, they do that, they cannot do the job, they're illiterate, then I cringe because that is a poor manager. Because a good manager would say, my people, my team, and I know that Jim Collins in his book, Good to Great, said, great managers and great leaders, when things go well, they look through the mirror to their people. And when things go wrong, they look they look through the window to their people and give them credit. But and when things go wrong, they look in the mirror to themselves to find the problem. Why do I say you only get poor managers? Because if your employees are not performing, you either appointed the wrong people, or you appointed the right people, but you didn't develop them. Or thirdly, you did not get rid of the wrong people and the poor performers fast enough. So it's all in your hands as a manager. Now, just to touch on StratSolve quickly, StratSolve is a consulting company, a business strategy and leadership consulting company that over the years served a lot of good companies, mainly in facilitating business strategy and the breakaways. You know, the one thing we're very good at and understand well is facilitating strategy sessions, do alignment of leadership. But other than that, we also do a lot of work in management, organizational development, and everything that goes with it. So we got a lot of experience we can tap into when I present this today. Now, I'm not going to talk about my experience for a too long time. I rather did put a little stream together, which you can read. And while you read this, I'm going to play some music for you. And you can read this.
Stop telling people how to run their business. It's my life, take it or leave it, set me free. What's that crap? I know it all. I got my own life, you got your own life. Live your own life, I set me free. Mind your business, I make my business. You know everything, Papa know it all. Very little knowledge is dangerous. Stop bumming me, stop bothering me, stop bumming me, stop fussing me, stop fighting me, stop killing me. It's my life. It's my life. It's my life. It's my life. It's my life.
Good. So that's just a summary that shows that I had the opportunity in my life to see a lot of leaders and a lot of managers. And the one thing that I picked up is that out of all of them, probably 80% of them never did have any management training. And I want to ask you, did you have management training? And I just want a Y for yes or an N for no. And if I say management training, before you write it, I'm not talking about the leadership training you get in an MBA course or any leadership development program where they spend a little bit of time on leadership, etc. I'm talking about management training. Now, years ago, the government, the banks, and the mines had very good management training. And for some reason, it doesn't exist anymore. Management is what you do every day, what's your priorities, what should you spend time on, etc. Just put a Y or an N in for yes or no. Did you have any management training?
No. Nope.
Yeah. And most of you, I haven't had one yes said no, you didn't have management training. I can tell you, when we do strategy, even for head offices of corporate and international companies, and we ask the question and they understand what it's about 90% of them in that senior positions never had management training. Now, that was our observation over many years. There's a lack of management and coaching skills, lots of group meetings, low dialogue or connection. We just touch sides with direct reports. We give instructions, we give support, but there's no specific coaching, and it's shallow connections with a person and no formalized one-on-one line management. And we in our company regard one-on-one line management coaching, meaning me coaching the either managers or people that reports directly to me. We spend specific time to develop them. Now, this is a tool that will ensure success. It will give you trust with your direct reports, a healthy working relationship, a deep understanding of our direct reports, deep knowledge of our direct reports, ensure the development of our direct reports, and obviously ensure the line of cascading and communication is good, because we will also spend time to find out if the person the reporting to me is doing the same to his people. And it will grow motivation and accountability. Now, the objectives today is we've got restricted time, is that you walk away here and just start applying some of the principles, but more importantly, just start spending at least 1 hour per month, or 2 hours in the beginning, or twice a month, 1 hour with the people reporting to you, to learn more about them over a cup of coffee and see how you can develop them. To build trust with your direct reports from tomorrow on, to improve production, and to get an overview of the 6-step model for effective coaching, which we are going to have a look at. Now, I want to start off with management standards, which is something our company have rolled into a lot of our clients to understand how people in the company should manage, and how do we establish a standard way of management right through the company. Now, I want to start off by first to say that there's different levels of management in any company. There's people that manage themselves, like operators. Then there's maybe your supervisors or junior managers that manage individuals. Then you get people that is managers of managers, that's in middle management, and they manage maybe junior managers. You get functional managers, which is finance, etc. And then you get somebody that manages a business, like a general manager in a mine or a CEO in a bank. And on each level, they do different work. So all of them work in these 4 quadrants every day. They either do directional or strategy work, transformational or change, interactional, which is about the people and HR, and managerial, which is about targets and performance, etc. Now, if you're a manager in a senior position, you spend most of your time in this top 2 quadrants and very little here. Whereas a junior manager spends most of their time in the bottom half and very little here. But despite what type of manager that you are, you need to understand what's your management priorities, on what should you spend time managing, what is the competencies you need, and what's the time application you need to spend on each of these. And I thought I'd just share this quickly with you because it does link in a little bit further. And then this is, you don't have to look at the detail here. I just want to show you, when you are a manager on any level, and we took the middle managers, a manager we said a manager of managers. And you will see on the left-hand side, we got the 4 quadrants. This is the leadership area. And we list the priorities of that manager on that level. It differs from level to level. What is the competencies we need to develop, and what's the time we need to spend? And what we have discovered is that one-on-one, and that's why it's marked in yellow, the most important thing of any manager is the success of their direct reports or the other managers. There's no other priority that's more important than this. And I remember, as a very good example, we had about 2 years ago at the mine, 2 or 3 years ago, we had a superintendent, we had supervisors reporting to him. And we did go through the management standards, which that mine rolled out. And he said, but he just doesn't have time to spend an hour every month sitting down with his direct reports. He says, we got enough meetings. He said, because he's got too much work. And, my question was, but as a manager, surely your work is to manage. And he didn't agree really with us because he had a lot of legislative work and reports and all of that. But the next month, when we had the discussion with him again, he came back amazed. He said, you know what? I am just blown away. I cannot tell you how much I did learn from my supervisors. You just don't understand what the climate is between us the relationship and how the performance picked up and how much control I have, and I actually now can have got more predictability in the business. And that's exactly what happens, because people don't know that they don't know until they start applying this. So let's walk off the management standards. One-on-one line management coaching is so important that if you've got a one-on-one session and your superior said he wants to see you urgently, you need to ask him, is it urgent because I've got a coaching session? And your senior should understand that's more important. And if you do it in that way, you also show the respect to the person you're coaching, and they understand that they are important. Okay, now I want you to just, into the box, tell me, on what level do you manage at the moment? Are you on senior level, CEO, general manager? You got your own business, you senior manager? Are you middle manager, or are you on the supervisor level? So just put in a S for senior, a M for middle, and a J for junior. If you can just put that in, I would just like to understand, where are you operating at the moment? On what level? If you can just put in the box for us, please.
SMS.
Okay.
Manager, another S. Someone's still typing. Another M. Manage myself.
Good.
S. Dion.
Okay. Now, even if you haven't got a team you're managing at the moment, I want to share something with you. We all have got children, or some of us have got children. How often do you sit down individually with them and have a discussion with them on how things are going, where are they going, what are they seeing in the future, and also how can you support them and help them to develop them, but on your own, just the two of you for an hour? Again, we never do that. We just touch base with each other, and we think if we sit around the table and talk, that was actually quality time. Quality time is sitting somewhere in a quiet place, having a coffee, connecting, find out what is going on inside that person. And you can actually apply this at home as well. That was for free, that one. Okay. Now, we all said we actually did not get management training. I want to ask you something else. Who of you take time to prepare before a coaching discussion? Get the facts, examples, think through what specific improvements you want the employee to make. Again, put in for me a S, or an N. If you don't have people reporting to you, you can just put in an N. But I'd like you to just put that in quickly for us so that we can just see.
One says, Helen says N. The answer says S. Repeat again. Says
okay, so what I want to know is, how often do you take time to prepare before a coaching discussion? And, get the facts, the examples, think through what specific improvements you want the employee to make. Do you prepare well before a coaching session? If you do not coach your direct reports, put in an N for never. But if you do prepare for a coaching session, put in an A and or an S for sometimes. Let me just see what we have here. Okay, so most of you say sometimes or never. Okay, so let's just see what's the difference between coaching and feedback. Feedback is usually when you've got group meetings and you give feedback to a lot of people. And coaching involves more time, so we offer it usually one-on-one. And what is important about effective coaches, and just think about yourself, we prepare well. We are optimistic about human nature. There's so much studies done that if you are optimistic, and you think your people can perform, that positiveness actually creates the vibes that make that people perform, because you will also manage them differently. And effective coaches base the coaching relationship on trust, and they listen more than they talk. Sorry. And they make time to observe performance. Now, the last two is very important. A leadership coach, and they do very good work, when they do coaching for leaders, the rule is they listen 80% of the time, they ask questions 10% of the time, and they give suggestions 10% of the time. And that's what a good coach does. And they also make time to observe performance. You cannot coach anybody effectively. And this is like a golden rule. If you don't observe their performance, if you don't observe the work they do, if you don't observe how they manage their people in some way or another, either sitting in meetings or whatever, you cannot effectively coach them. Now, there's 6 steps for an effective coaching session, and we're going to go through that. Firstly, you have to prepare well, and I'm not going to go into the detail. I just want you to understand this. And by the way, the slides will be available. We're going to mail it to you. You will have access to all of it, and then you will be able to read some of the detail on the slide as well. But you have to prepare well. You have to determine objectives, collect information, organize your thoughts, etc., etc. Then you have to set the right climate. Choose appropriate time, pick a neutral location, get a place where you are private, have a coffee, and obviously, you know, what we say in the training, where we've got a complete training manual where we go into a lot of detail, and in that we actually have got a checklist to make sure, you know, we don't miss anything. But be positive, be enthusiastic, show respect, and establish trust. And then deliver feedback. Focus on the performance. Use praise, give observations you saw, etc. Supply additional information about the company in that session. Ask the person that's being coached, what is it they want to know about the company? Because a lot of people work in a company, but there's so many things they want to know which nobody tells them. And this is an opportunity where you can inform this person. They can walk out of that meeting. They can feel that they are actually achieving, and they can also feel that they are informed, and people that understand their work well are usually happy workers. And then agree on needs and action. So in this whole exercise, if I can sum it up, I say, when I get up out of bed in the morning and I start thinking about work, my number one priority should be, what can I do today to develop the people reporting to me better? Because the better the people are that reports to me, the less work I'm going to have. Because I'm going to delegate more and more. I'm going to spend more time on developing them so that they can later do a lot of the stuff I don't have to do. And so when we got the session, we are going to focus on what is it that this direct report must actually develop in the next month. What must he get better at in the next month? And how can I assist him? How can I support him in that? And what happened, obviously, earlier in the discussion about the things we had to do over the past month. Is it been done? Is it not been done? And if this person do not get to the point where they develop further or do the work they should do, obviously, we have to go to another route which is more disciplinary. There's a saying, recruit slow but fire fast. If the person understands the work well and he's got the knowledge and the skills, and we assisted with him with it or her with it, and if they have got the tools to do the work and they still cannot do it, then they're never going to be able to do it. And maybe they're just in the wrong type of job, they have to be moved or whatever. And then obviously follow up. That's important. Now, we're not going to go into much detail, but this little model on its own, if you sit with this and you start applying it, will make a big difference in the performance and the relationships. We've just seen the results. I mean, we've seen where performance after this was applied within 3 months improved, and I'm now talking in a production environment, improved between 25 and 40%, and the relations was great. Okay, so step 1, prepare well. I'm going to run quickly through it. Organize your thoughts for feedback, and ask yourself, what did I observe in the workplace? Why is it important? What would I like to happen? What can I suggest? And then anticipate and plan for the actions. Strengthen your skills. And you will get better and better as you have this coaching sessions. And this coaching sessions, when I did turnarounds in businesses, it was volatile. And in the beginning, this coaching sessions was called Happy Hours. I did learn it from an amazing guy, which was much older than me. He actually said he calls it Happy Hours, but it was not so happy in the beginning. Only became happy later on. Step 2, set the climate. We did talk about it. Choose an appropriate time. Lead with objectives. Use a positive tone. And be enthusiastic. Show respect and establish trust. Step 3, deliver feedback. Give feedback on performance. The focus must stay on performance. It will create trust. And do not just relate personal feelings. Stay away from that. And then, obviously, there are 2 different forms of feedback. The one is reinforcing. That tells you what you are doing well. Tells you what you should continue doing. It improves morale, self-confidence, and motivation. And you know the story with children. We usually tell them 9 times what they're doing wrong, or what they shouldn't do, and only once what they do out of 10, what they are doing well. And we must try and turn that around. And that happens in companies, everywhere we go, is that our workforce usually only get reaction from us when things go wrong. And that's where they get attention. So it's like, learning a child to be naughty. They know they get attention if they do things wrong, so they keep on doing things wrong, guys. And we must start focusing more on what is being done right. And then redirecting improves behavior and performance, helps improve job performance, and helps you to identify areas you can change and improve. Now, it sounds all good and well, but it's not always just smooth sailing here. You get people that report to you that play and communication games, and avoid it at all costs. Understand it, see it, and manage it. And we're not going to go into the detail here, but what I want to say is you get the wounded animal. Is the person that the employee that pretends to be devastated. When you discuss with them what you observed and what you think can improve, they go into the state of a wounded animal. They are devastated, and you just have to manage that. And then you get the person that wants to change the scent. That's what we call it. That employee avoids the issue and changes the subject all the time. They are very clever with it. And you have to get them back to it, and also draw their attention to the fact that they actually are doing this, and are they aware of it? And sometimes they might not be aware of it. It's just a defense mechanism which they developed over time. And then you get the counterattack, the employee that attacks the manager. So this is what I observe about your work. And then the answer is, yes, but it's because you are not supporting me, or you are not doing that, and I've asked for this. And then you must be very careful to find out whether that person is 100% right or not right, and it's just a tactic. And then you get the ally builder. And this is the guy that actually relies on past friendships rather than trying to do the work better. We are friends before you were promoted, this and that, so this is not really serious. So be aware of it, that this is the sort of things that can come up in this coaching sessions. Then there's 15 behaviors that blocks feedback, and I'm not going to go through them. You can go read through them on your time. But it's what we need to know, what we as managers might be doing to block feedback, because you want the person reporting to you to open up. You need to get that trust relationship. Okay, and if you step 4 is obviously supplying additional information. I did tell you, share some information about the vision and the goals and rewards and priorities of the company, outline individual performance and expectation, discuss further opportunities and requirements, and provide a personal perspective. And then agree on needs and an action plan. I think what's important is that what I do is to ask the direct report, how do you think we can improve this issue? Because they are busy working in the area which they have to improve, and they might have some good ideas, and we must listen to it with an open mind. And then obviously step 6 is the follow-up. Once this person once we have agreed on actions that need to be taken to improve, I cannot sit back and at the end of the month ask, but what happened? But I didn't follow up regularly. That's quite important. A good example is of somebody that shared with me that they just cannot understand that the servant working for them cannot see there's certain areas in the house that's not clean. So I asked this lady, that's interesting, so how regularly, you probably do it once a month, or how regularly do you walk through the house with this servant and tell her what you appreciate and what's the work they're doing well, and show them, the different things that needs to improve? She said, yes, but she did it. I said, when did you do it? So she said, no, I did it when I appointed her. I said, when did you appoint her? She said, no, 7 years ago. I said, no, guys, what do you expect? Yeah, and then I get this from managers as well. And what she said, but, surely they should understand it themselves. I said, if they understand it themselves, and that goes for people reporting to you, because I hear a lot of managers say, but why don't they just do these things? They should know. I said, if they know that, they probably wouldn't have worked for you. Maybe you would have worked for them. So you need to provide support. So at least on a weekly basis, just check in. How's that going? Can I support you? Is it going well? You think we're going to improve it, etc. Check on the progress, give recognition for small improvements. Guys, we're missing a big opportunity if we just don't give recognition for small improvements. I'm not going into the power of one's positiveness and mind power, but I can tell you, the more you start telling people that you appreciate stuff they're doing well, the more they will be doing things well. And then, there's 10 steps to deliver tough messages. And again, I'm not going to go into the detail of these 10 steps. But you can go read through it on time. Maybe we can just touch on one or two of them. I make sure that you define the problem well when you want to actually deliver a tough message, and don't wait. I always say, if there's a problem, this is how wide this problem is now. The longer you wait, the bigger the problem comes. So just do it. And if you don't like confrontation, years ago, I also was somebody that didn't like confrontation. And my brother had an Italian partner who was very successful. He only had standard 6, I remember. And he said, George, you know, I said, you know, I avoid problems. He said, you are a very boring person. Don't avoid it. Just learn how to handle it. So over the years, I did learn how to handle it, and I'm going to give you one good trick now. But give clear and rapid input, gain agreement on the problem, and then I want to jump to something else, and that's the cup and saucer. Now, this you can apply everywhere in your life, not only in business, but in your family, with your children, and anybody. Always, let's say the cup is a person, and the saucer is the behavior or the issue. Split the two and address the behavior. You know, and here's an example. If your children do something really stupid, you don't say to them, listen, you are stupid. You know, now you attach that behavior to the person and it degrades that person and you're not getting anywhere. What you can do is you can tell your child, you know, you're such a clever person. But this thing you did now, that what you did there, that was not a clever thing to do. You know, that is stupid behavior, and you're not somebody that I can associate with that. Now you split it, and the respect is still there, and the person don't feel degraded. And in management, you can handle any tough situation like that. And sometimes when things get heated or it's a big problem, whatever it is, whether it's political or whatever it is, we get aggravated, and then in our minds we start combining the person and the issue. And I say that's when you have to sit back in business as well, and any tough discussion of anything that did go wrong, separate the person from the issue, address the issue, and confirm that you are actually both addressing the issue. It's easier for somebody to address their behavior and what they did than to start defending themselves as a person. So, and I think in management and in life, that's one of the better examples I've ever seen. Okay, so my question is to you, what were the significant learning points for you during this module? You know, if you can just put in there, if there's something specific and maybe how will you apply it, and just list 2 things you will do different when you go back to the office today. Do you have a question there? Okay. Is there anything specifically you will do different for yourself now when you go back to the office today? If you can list that for us, please. And I think one-on-one coaching is probably the 20% that makes the 80% difference.
Rian says, continue to listen more to other people.
Okay, Rian says, so what you're saying is you'll continue to listen more to other people. Yes. You know, if we can, you all know it. We got 2 ears and 1 mouth, but for some reason we use our mouth most.
They're still typing.
Okay.
Sonia says, wow, so many coaching sessions needs to happen, even in the house. I will start this with my children, valuable, and then my team I'm building in my company.
Great, Sonia. And again, you know, having a one-on-one discussion, not a group discussions is good. But, you know, if you teach somebody something, there's a 10% retention. When they get involved in the discussion, the retention is 80%. When you get them to teach it back, it becomes 90%. And the one-on-one discussion, I want to ask you this question. If ever in your life you had a senior manager you reported to, how did it feel, or how would it have felt if he invited you into the office had a coffee with you and had a discussion with you on how things are going and how we can support you. We underestimate the power and how our direct reports feel to have that discussion with us. It is special to them. It is very special to them. Good, Sonia.
Jamari says the teacups also mindset will help.
Yeah, very much so, Yamari. That's my daughter in New Zealand. Hi, Yamari. And yes, very much so. We had a lot of discussions about this, that things happen and you get irritated and you start carrying this problem and you start relating it to an individual where actually, that was their behavior. It was not us, and we can split it with a person. Okay, so I think what was valuable, I think the 6-step process is going to help you a lot. Valuable information on effective coaching and just changing our mindset. Guys, if you change your mindset, you can change your life. And that goes for anything else. And the recording is available for 30 days. And there will be templates and links which we will mail to you. Give us a few days. We're going to send you some templates and links. And then there's going to be a freebie and a bonus. We're going to send you electronic information on 2 books. And then also, some information on the training manual. Now, you're welcome to visit Stratsolve on our website, www.stratsolve.com. And then the offer from this session is we've got a complete training manual and a trainee handbook, which can be used in companies or by yourself. And we also do the training for companies. Or you can get 4 90 minutes weekly training sessions or group training sessions for a company. If there's any company that wants training for the managers, we do that. Now, what I want to say is, if you do not take action and become a better manager, a question is, what is the cost if you don't develop yourself today? Because it will impact on your direct reports and your career in business. And I've got some recommendations from people, which I'm not going to go through. It will be on the slide when you get it. This is the usual cost for the training handbook. And we also are going to do 4 90-minute weekly training sessions of one per week, which will include the training manuals and handbook. And then obviously price to be negotiated if it's for companies. And we've got a special offer open now for the trainer's manual and the training handbook of 1,999 Rand. And or if you want to do the 4 times 90-minute weekly training sessions, which will be live and we will have this discussion, it will be 2,999. And yes, that is available now. It's been developed over many years, and it's powerful, and it will change you as a manager and make you more successful. Kobus, we haven't got a link for this one. So
I'm going to put in your details. Fritz says, in corporate, the boss is afraid of you choosing after his job and therefore do all in their favor to keep you down. Very few grasp the idea of building people up to minimize and managing.
Yeah, it was Fritz.
Fritz, yeah.
Fritz, yeah, that is, unfortunately, in certain companies, there's a lot of politics, and that is the case. But when they roll out a program like this, what senior managers start discovering is that if they develop their people well, the people that come up can actually push them up as well. But it is a problem. It is a problem. The more important thing is do it for yourself. Kobus, how can they register?
The best is for them to send you an email or a WhatsApp.
So there is my telephone number and my email address. If any of you want any of these offers, the training manuals or the training handbook, or the 4 training sessions, you're welcome to mail me at chart@stratsolve.com, or you can send me a WhatsApp on that telephone number. And yes, I just want to thank you and say, guys, I really appreciate that you'd come to the session in the middle of the week. So let's start today. Good.
Okay, so Rian says, I have worked with Chart over many years. This is very, very valuable. This reminds me of Dr. Seuss' book, Oh, the Places You'll Go. Rian says, direct reports really value the time managers spent with them. Sonia says, I love the 80-10-10 suggestions. Was a wow light bulb moment for me. Yeah, that is so fun. I see people
Good.
are still typing.
Yeah, thank you for the nice feedback, all of you. And so that we could have some interaction in this room of us. I really enjoyed it. And I love it because this is a favorite topic of mine. And I've just seen so many results. Please go and apply it. If you just want to discuss it with me, send me a mail. If you want to phone me, you're most welcome to do it, or send a WhatsApp to me. Thanks a lot.
I don't know who's this doctor. It's probably Dr. Bill. It says, Mooi man.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
Well done. It's very enlightening and full of helpful advice. Very valuable from a fellow coach trainer in South Africa. Chart, going to apply the valuable tips. Thank you again. And then Tony, so everyone ask last questions, and then we're going to stop this webinar. We need to get ready for the next one. Chart is a guru and keeps reinventing himself.
Thank you for that, Tony. Much appreciated. The next 10 years, we're all going to make our best 10 years ever. So at age 64, I heard somebody in his 70s say that the other day. So I decided at 64, I can make the best 10 years. I said, it's going to be 10 times better than the last 40 years. And I wish you all the same. Thanks.
Chart, just
Thank
invite
you.
them to the next one.
Good.
Okay.
Okay. I've got oh yes. Guys, tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock, I've got a session on business turnarounds. If you know about anybody that's got a business in distress at the moment, either by COVID or it just didn't go well, this is something I've got lots of experience about, and I've got very good tips and processes they can follow and tools to turn their businesses around. So if you know of anybody that's got a business in distress, please let them register for tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock. Thank you very much and enjoy the day further. Dankie Kobus. Thank you. I really appreciate your assistance here. You are Superman.
Thank you very much. Everyone enjoy. Join the next webinar starting in 10 minutes time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Yeah, Sonia, just we'll spread the word. Kobus, how? Email the link. Yes, you will find everything. If you registered with Chart, you will find an email from him. You can connect with him. Okay, everyone, let's go. Stop.
Awesome.